Okay, sorry for the delay. Okay, so we have y equals mx plus b, and direct variation, the formula is y equals kx, where k is the constant of variation. So, and if you forget, if it's x over y or y over x, it's the same as slope. So just look at your slope formula, which is located on your formula chart. So we're going to do y over x, so negative 12 over x, which is 3. What is negative 12 divided by 3? Negative 4. So our equation is going to be y equals negative 4x. Done. So when y equals negative 9, we're going to take that negative 9 and plug it into the equation. So negative 9 equals negative 4x. So negative 4 times x, opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. And so negative divided by negative is a positive, and is 9/4 reducible? No. So x equals 9 over 4. You can type it in like that or just put the number. I would just put the number. And then you don't have to worry if the data clerk entered a space or not. Number 2, 8 over negative 56 or negative 56 over 8? What are we going to do first? Correct. The negative 56 is our y, so that's on top. Divided by 8, and we get negative what? 7. So our equation is y equals negative 7x. And this time we are given x. So when you're given x, you're just going to plug it in. You're going to take that negative 18 and plug it in for x. And so negative 7 times negative 18 equals what? Yep. So again, you can type just 126, or if you want to type more, you can do y equals 126. So that is how it's tested, is 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is how it's used, okay? So when you use it, and you can use this in, for example, y'all know I build stuff. So I'm making, I've got 15 Christmas trees in the making. So to figure out the different sizes, if I'm going on YouTube and they give me measurements and I want to make different sizes, I use a proportion to change my sizes. So if I want it a third less, I'm going to take everything and I'm going to divide it by 3. If I wanted to increase it, I'm going to double them. So it's basically a proportion. That's the same thing we're going to do here. On these, the units are required. They're not optional. So I include units when I write my information down. So the first 2 numbers we're given is 105 what? Inches squared, square inches. So IN squared is how you could type it in abbreviation. And it costs $12. Equals, and then they give you $11. So is the 11 going to go on the top or the bottom? Bottom. So it didn't matter how we set it up initially, but whatever you decide, it needs to be the same on both sides. So if you do money on top, then inches need to be on the bottom, and you're going to do the same on the other side. And so we're going to cross multiply and divide. So if our money went down, should our area go down or go up? Should go down also. A lot or just a little? Just a little. Okay, so if your number doesn't make sense, you know you've done something wrong. So you're going to do 11 times 105 and then divide by 12. So 11 times 105, press enter, and then divide by 12. And I got 96.25. So 96.25 inches squared. Cross multiply, and the crazy, if you end up, I had students, they would multiply, they did 105 times 12 and then divide by 12. If you end up with the same number, you're doing the same, you're not doing anything, you're doing the same thing. So be careful with that. Distance traveled by an object, directly proportional. So we have 7 hours, and you're going how many miles? 660 and miles. And then we've got 8 hours. So are we going to go up or are we going to go down? Up. A lot or a little? A little, not a whole lot, but we're going to go up. So algebraically, what does it look like? So you would do 7 times x is 7x. 660, so you cross multiply, 660 times 8. 5280, now what? Divide by 7. And so divide by 7. And what does it say to round to? To the nearest hundredth. How many decimal places is that? 2. Okay, so your calculator will round for you. So mine is rounding. Let me change it. Let me show you how to round and unround. Hold on. Okay, so next to second is a button called mode. So if you notice that everything you do has 2 decimal places, so for instance 5 plus 2, it has 2 decimal places. We know that 5 plus 2 is just 7. That gives you an idea that we're rounding. So you can go to mode, and float takes you off of rounding, and if you need 2 decimal places, then you can change it to 2. So if I do that last problem, 5280 divided by 7 without rounding, you have 28.285. So the 5 is going to make the 8 do what? Go up, round up. So it needs to be 29. So if you can round, then just leave it. If you struggle or you want to confirm, then your calculator can round for you by changing it to mode. And if your calculator is ever doing anything you don't want it to do, you can always clear it to start over. Second memory 712. Questions?